Protests first erupted in the Oromia region when the Ethiopian government announced plans to expand the capital, Addis Ababa. Dubbed the Addis Ababa Integrated Development, or the Master Plan, protesters from Ormo feared the expansion would further displace farmers. Oromia completely surrounds the capital, and the Oromos are the largest ethnic group in Ethiopia. More than 1 in 3 Ethiopians are from that region, but members of the community claim to have suffered systematic discrimination and oppression at the hands of the federal government. Protests flared up again more than a year later, sparked by a decision to clear a forest and football field for an investment project. Now, these largely peaceful demonstrations took place in more than 400 different locations across all 17 zones of Oromia. Students were joined by farmers and other community members as pressure on government intensified. And as the protests continued and spread to the capital, the government made a rare concession and announced the cancellation of the master plan. But by then, the list of grievances by the Oromo people had grown longer. Complaints included government brutality, the high death toll, and mass arrests. The protests reached a turning point in August last year, when hundreds of thousands marched in cities and towns across Oromia, following calls by opposition parties in response to what they termed government's escalating repression. Another milestone came in October, when security forces fired live bullets on a crowd of over 2 million people gathered to celebrate at a festival. The firing of tear gas triggered a stampede that led to the deaths of at least 52 people. Just a week later, a state of emergency was imposed, giving security forces and the army new sweeping powers. The government blocked mobile internet, restricted social media, banned protests, and closed down broadcast and print media. And after almost a year of protests, a government inquiry put the death toll at nearly 700, but human rights groups said it was much higher. Now, last month, Ethiopia's parliament voted to lift the state of emergency as government declared stability had returned, despite minor problems in some parts of the country.